Wear a lot of hats, and this morning it is really difficult for me to tell you which hat I'm wearing right this second. I come out of the civil rights movement. I make no distinction about that. I'm very proud of that. I grew up in the movement. I'm here because of the movement. Governor Deal and nobody else in this house helped me get here.
All right. All right.
It is the people behind me and the constituents that I represent that put me here. So I represent them right this minute. I have to say to you that the Hope Scholarship is tied to a whole lot of things. What grieves me the most about the Hope Scholarship is not that you gotta cut the amount that they receive. It's the artificial barriers that they put in place. Mr. President, I don't know about you, but I didn't score 1,200 on my SAT. I don't know about you, but I didn't score 3.7. grade point average. I don't know about you, but I've got a high school student. That's my granddaughter. That's got a 4.0.
All right.
I'm very proud of her. But her SAT scores are not that high.
All right.
I'm worried. I'm very worried. I happen to represent Clayton County and Fayette County. And for all of you out there in the media, you know that we're struggling with accreditation. We had school board members that attended our last 3 town hall meetings. We've had town hall meetings every week for the last 3 weeks. Our students are not going to fare so well in this formula. I represent those students. I have to represent those students. This formula is not going to represent our students well. It's going to be a small percentage of our students that's going to meet that requirement. It has nothing to do with black or white. It has to do with the reality of the cards we've been dealt. It has to do with the fact that we're already skating on probation with accreditation. It has to do with the fact that the state of Georgia stood by and let our accreditation slip through and gave us no help. It had to do with the fact that Delta Airlines comes to us in this body every 3 years.
All right.
And asks for millions of dollars in tax credit and gives not a single child from Clayton County a scholarship. Never. And they're asking again this week. Never mind that they're sitting on $3.6 billion with a B dollars in their bank right now, cash on hand. Why do they need more money from Clayton County schools when our children are struggling and suffering? And they're not going to qualify for hope. They're not going to qualify. Not because of what the students are not doing, not because of what the teachers are not doing, but because of what the state has not done. And they're going to take more money from our kids. It's not right, it's not fair, and we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take it. If we got to boycott the lottery, then we boycott the lottery. If we got to boycott Delta, then we boycott Delta. I'm through with this formula. The Senate Democratic Caucus came up with something that's viable and workable. Then I say to Governor Deal and all the rest of them, why not work that formula? If the formula works, let's use it. If the formula works for Georgia, let's use that formula. If the formula works for rural Georgia and the places that can't do the math formula that you're talking about, we've got schools in Metro Atlanta that can't meet those requirements. Why not let's use the Senate formula? Why not? If it works better for more Georgians, then we ought to use that formula. And forgive me for being a little upset this morning, but I've been dealing with this since Friday. Why take advantage of the little people when you've got more than enough? I know we're talking about hope, but it ties hand in hand. House Bill 326 is only 4 bills away from House Bill 322. Somebody tell me they ain't working together. Both of them in ways and means. Somebody tell me they ain't designed together. Both of them slipped in the dark. Somebody tell me they ain't designed together. Mr. President, if NAACP is working on one, we're working on both. Am I right or am I right? Thank you so much. Good morning. I'm Janice Mathis from the Rainbow Push Coalition. I am sad that I have to be here. I agree with everything that has been said. That is why about 2 weeks ago, I offered a resolution to the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, which was carried, that if there was no other alternative, we would ask people of conscience to withdraw their support from the Georgia lottery because it has strayed so far from its original intent. We get the kind of government that we deserve, and to some extent by our silence, by our inaction, we get a government that is calloused and unconcerned about people who need the support of government the most. In a time when resources are constrained, it does not make any sense that we would spend scarce resources on families making above $140,000 a year who need no assistance sending their children to school. I live in Athens, Georgia. I see the SUVs and the kitty condos that the Hope Scholarship subsidizes. I live with them each and every day. I have nothing against families who are affluent and can afford to send their children to school, but study after study after study shows that there's a socioeconomic bias in educational attainment, whether you're talking about grades or the SAT score. Some of the best studies have come out of the University of Georgia. There is no question among academics that the Hope Scholarship serves to be a redistribution of income from lower income people to more affluent people. The more money you have, the less likely you are to play the lottery. The more education you have, the less likely you are to play the lottery. It is undisputed. So what we have to say to our lawmakers is, if you cannot see the plain facts in front of you, then perhaps it is time to rethink our commitment to the lottery. I want to join my voice with the organizations that are here. Thank the NAACP and Mr. DeBose for his leadership. And I think it is significant that you see us standing together. I've been to hearings. This issue is not black or white. It's not rich or poor. We've had students, we've had young people, older people pleading with our government. Must we do what they did in Wisconsin? Is it necessary that we take over the halls of the chamber with sleeping bags and move into the Capitol to show that we mean business? This issue is not going away because the fix that was put in with House Bill 326 is at best a temporary fix. It requires that every year there be a new formula to calculate what scholarship benefits students will receive. Unless there's a miraculous recovery to the economy, we will be right back here again next year, and we don't intend to go anywhere. Thank you very much.
My name is John Evans, and I represent the DeKalb branch NAACP and also represent Operation Lead today. We want to let Governor Deal know that we are not here to make a deal. We want what we want that will make it better for those who need help with their education. They always say to us, why are you so sensitive to things that take place up here in the state capitol? Well, we know one thing. There's a conspiracy going on, and we don't want no parts of it, and we're angry at those legislators who fell for the conspiracy. And I think we need to just tell them right now that we're coming after you. What they're doing is every year or so they come up here and they just butcher up bills. The bill had no intent for all of these changes, all of these cap changes and SAT scores and so forth. People don't understand all that mess. What they understand is they can get some money for their kids to go to college. That's what's important. So we're here today to tell him again, we're not here to make a deal, and he needs not ask us to do that. Thank you so much.
We have two additional speakers. The very next speaker is going to be the Reverend Dr. R.L. White, the president of the Atlanta branch of the NAACP, followed by Mr. Derek Bozeman, radio personality.
Good morning. One of the things that I have observed since I've been in public life is that the have-nots always seem to get taken for granted. I think it's a fact, well, I know it's a fact, that most of the people who support the lottery are the grassroots people who don't have a lot of hope, but they find some hope in the lottery. Now, that is not to endorse or condemn, but it's a fact. But what is happening is those who already have are being subsidized, and those who are not are the ones that are relegated to the back, and these are the ones that need the Hope Scholarship the most. There should be some incentive in education in Georgia where those who have not been able to achieve, those who have socioeconomic problems will be looked at and developed so that they can join the others who are already advantaged. We feel and we know that this is an unfair legislation, and we've come to make sure today that it is known that we do not agree with it, because our people are the ones who are supporting the lottery, and we're the last ones to be considered. We need to relook the Hope Scholarship and find an equitable way so that everybody can have a chance to go and further their education and to better their situations in life. We're committed to stand behind that. We're not going to go away. We're not going to stop. If we have to come back next year, we'll come back until we get something done. So thank you so much.
We join in unity and solidarity with the NAACP, the leadership of the various organizations. We're here because a promise was made.
All right.
We just came to tell the legislators to be promise keepers.
All right.
We're here to remind Governor Deal that he has a promise to all of Georgia, just not a certain segment.
All right.
When Zell Miller proposed in 1992 the Hope Scholarship, it was the Republican and those on the far right who said they didn't want anything to do with this gambling money. They didn't want anything to do with this dirty, ill-gotten gain. They said very clearly that if you start a lottery in Georgia, it's the beginning of a criminal enterprise. So we're just here to remind the Republican parties and this Republican leadership that if they believe that it was a criminal enterprise in 1992, surely what they did in 2011 is criminal.